Have you asked yourself what would happen with your family and your loved ones if something, if you have like a sudden death in your family? It could be you or your husband. Right here we have Jonathan Chavez that he will talk to us about how we can protect our family. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello, again, my name is Jonathan Chavez, your agent with New York Life. Well, thank you for having this conversation with me, Cindy.
Yeah, having this conversation is really important for us because we have certain responsibilities with our family, and right here we are going to share how you can protect it better. Jonathan, I would like you to share who you are, from where you are come from, and how did you become life insurance?
Definitely. Well, I come from Midland, Texas, so there's not a lot there if you haven't heard of Midland, Texas. It's a lot of just oil and dirt out in the middle of nowhere, right? But it is a place that's growing, thankfully so, because of all the oil is bringing a lot of families, a lot of growth to that town. And so, yeah, I come from Midland, Texas, and came out here about maybe a little bit less than 2 years ago. We're going on maybe our 2 year mark here pretty soon. So,
Can you tell me how are in your family and how the losing affected your view about how the things were handled and how the things could have been better?
yeah, definitely. So just to offer a little bit of context, Araceli and I have done a little bit of work together, and during that conversation, I always like to inform and bring the story of something that happened so close to me when it comes to this type of planning, which is losing my mother in 2021, and so yeah, there's four of us total siblings. I'm the youngest. And so losing my mother and our mother in 2021 was definitely something very difficult. Was a very hardworking woman. The thing is that she just didn't have the proper strategy. So when something like that happened, planning for the next step wasn't done accordingly. And so it definitely did put a lot of weight on us as siblings. Not only the emotional part of it, but also the financial strain, right, of having to come together and take care of that as a family.
Yeah, most of us we don't have a plan. That is the reality. We don't have a budget plan. We don't do nothing about that because we don't know how to do it. So, but right here, this one explains how important it is to plan uh, the protection of our loved ones. Could you explain a little bit more about how a life insurance can protect you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, life insurance is one of those things that is very crucial. It may be the most fundamental part of beginning a financial plan, right? And so the whole point of what we like to accomplish here is that we're always trying to replace income. That's always the name of the game, right? If you get hurt, you want to find a way to replace income, disability, right? But in the time of retirement, you've got to replace income because you're replacing your job, right? What gives you income? So it's about planning for that point. And same with life insurance, right? It's replacing income because there are still responsibilities that are happening, right? If I were to pass away, or if you are the father of a household, or the mother of a household, and your income matters, something were to happen to you, well, somebody still has to continue paying those house bills. Somebody still has to make payments on the car. Somebody still has to continue to somehow, some way, provide for your kids to go to school, for them to eat, all those different things. So life insurance is definitely one of those things that is going to be the safety net, right? It's going to be that safety net where if something were to happen to you, your family can safely fall into that safety net and continue ensuring that standard of life that you worked so hard to provide.
When do they have to start having a life insurance?
Yeah, definitely. So as far as who can benefit, young professionals, because the thing about life insurance is that one thing that influences a lot about what the cost is going to be. Which, by the way, regardless of where you are in this timeline, you should definitely speak to a life insurance agent so that you can have that conversation, find out really where you are in that process, right? But the younger you are, for sure, the better, because you're never gonna be as young or as healthy as you are right now. So, which are the two things that influence the cost of the life insurance policy, right? But who's gonna benefit? Somebody who maybe want to build some equity within their policy. There's all the different types of equity, so young people for sure. But then anybody who's coming into a partnership, maybe you're a young couple that's purchasing a house. We need to be able to protect that mortgage, right? Those mortgage payments. And what about somebody who's got a young one right now that you're responsible for, or maybe even that mid-level family that's got some kids that are growing up already, their teen years. So to answer your question, I think everybody can benefit from the policy, right?
Okay, and now it's from the client or the people that is going to be looking for a life insurance. What are the things that I have to be really careful looking when I'm looking at it, or I'm looking what kind of life insurance I should get?
Yeah, great question. Great questions. So for sure, definitely, you want to be able to find in an agent. You want somebody who is going to give you an entire plan, right? It's not just the life insurance part, but how does that play into everything that you're planning for, right? Because as an individual, part of that financial plan, like I mentioned earlier, is not only what happens in the event of a death, right? But how are we preparing also for retirement and those additional things? So you may want to have somebody who is going to take you through the full spectrum of, what are we working with, right? What is your finances looking like right now? What is your budget looking like right now? What are some debts that we want to cover within a policy? For sure, covering those funeral expenses, right? And then on top of that is, how much income are we replacing it for how many years, right? But then on top of that is, what would we like to give our children, right? I mean, is it covering a certain amount of educational cost? Is it maybe some seed money for a business? At some point, you never know where your kids are going to be in the future, right? But for sure, maybe even a down payment on a house. So you want to be able to calculate those things, maybe expand on those things with an agent, right? But that's really what we like to do here, is find out where are you headed and how do we help you get there when we're picking the right type of policy for you.
That's great. And how people can find?
Yeah, definitely. So our offices are located downtown in Wichita, 125th North Market Street. We're on the 16th floor, so we're pretty up here. But you can always reach me directly. My personal phone number is 316-416-1225. And so that's how I communicate with my clients and anybody who has any questions. I'm always available to be able to answer those calls. Yeah, definitely. So my Facebook page is going to be Jonathan Chavez, licensed agent at New York Life. I know that's a little bit long, but should pop up there. We may be able to tag it maybe there for you guys to find easier.
And also Las Aventuras. In that way, you can have more information about all these services that are available to you through Jonathan Chavez, that is the agent.
Thank you.
Thank you.